I know what I am. I know what mental conditions I have. I know what kind of person I am, and I know what kind of person that I'm not. And it really pains me to say and kind of affirm and say out loud and realize fully that I'm probably more likely than not gonna die alone. You know, and that like this isn't like, oh, I'm an incel. Oh, women don't like me or something. Like this is not that. This is I have I have a disorder that makes it really hard to form relationships with people, maintain those relationships, and it's a lot of factors coming together that have led me to the conclusion that I'm kind of just in for it by myself. I it's not even like I don't know how to be in a relationship. I don't know how to have a girlfriend. I don't know how. Like I know how. I've done it before. I know how to be a gentleman. I know how to hold the door for people and listen to problems and be a compassionate person. I'm working really hard on just being like a nicer person, a more caring person. I understand what that's like. I understand what that is. I understand the process of how to be that kind of person. But at the end of the day, it's more of like a show. And it's not like, oh, I'm faking my kindness, or it's just like I have to go out of my way, or I have to consciously make the effort, or it's this, or it's that, or it's effort. It's not like I just exist, natural flow state. I don't. It's not like that for me. Even beyond that, I feel like just kind of the person that I am, the personality I have, disregarding my personality disorder, just the person that I am, the interests I hold, the the way I speak, the way I hold myself, the mannerisms in which I conduct my behavior upon, it's not very conducive of making a relationship, of meeting new people, of like I'm able to meet new people. Just recently I started a new job. I had to meet people who are out of my age group, who have zero commonalities with me, in fact, who have multiple differences to me. And I made a video about that a while ago. And like I'm able to work with them. I'm able to converse. I'm able to talk and be a human. But I think it's really easy to do that because it's superficial. It's work. I'm not really opening up, you know. I'm not making myself vulnerable to these people. I've been talking to a lot of girls recently, and I'm noticing that I kind of just don't really feel the like attraction, you know? It's more it's more of like lust, and that's not fun. I don't want to lead them on like that, and so I just kind of say, "Hey, yeah, I'm not really feeling a connection," or something along those lines. Or it's in the sense of like we're talking and I just I just don't feel it. As we're speaking, as we're conversing, there's no moments where I don't know if it's just I'm supposed to get giddy, I'm supposed to get butterflies in my stomach, but I just don't feel anything. I don't I just don't feel in these scenarios. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to waste my time, waste your time. Let's just cut to the chase at that point. Jeez, what a bad angle for my hair. I gotta take a shower. I also notice if I've said this before, if you were to go look up on any website, on any search engine, on anything on the internet, partners with BPD, loving a person with BPD. My ex had BPD. Here's my story time. It's never anything positive in those. It's never an uplifting story. They're always cautionary. They're cautionary tales like like Bloody Mary. It's like oh, a creature in which you do not want to encounter, and I'm telling you my story so you never encounter them. It's like Jesus Christ, you know. So not only do I have anecdotal evidence to support my claim, not only do I have I'm sorry, personal anecdotal evidence, then I have external anecdotal evidence, and then I just have just basic understanding of what I have and how it just makes it so much harder to be intimate with someone on a deep personal level. And it's one of those things where you just kind of have to look at it and go, you know what, I think it's better off if I just love from a distance, you know. And it really hurts to say that. It really hurts to even think of that because it's not what I want, you know. I would love to be able to kind of just be a human and be normal in that sense, you know. But it's not even like, oh, it's really hard, I have to constantly think about what I have to say, or this or that. It's not like mentally taxing on me. No, it's really not. And that's also because I don't like let it. I don't sit there and constantly think of the right thing to say or the right thing to do or any of that, because that's more stress on me, and I don't like that. That's not enjoyable. Ideally, I would be with someone in where I don't have to do that, and where I don't have to constantly like regulate my emotional outbursts, and then also have to explain them. I would ideally just be able to go into a room and cool off, and then have no one acknowledge it. But that's not reality. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. I am always going to be seen as a freak, an outlier, someone who is a non-desirable person for a relationship. And I'm upfront. I'm upfront with the people I speak with. I say, hey, before anything like goes any further than just me and you talking back and forth for a minute. I feel like a fucking sexual predator when a sexual predator moves into a neighborhood and they have to go door to door. Hey, sir, my name is Jerry Jared Fogle. I'm moving into your neighborhood, and I have to let you know, I'm legally required to let you know that I am a sex offender. I feel like that. I feel like that when I speak to women. I go, hey, I have BPD. You're not gonna want this. I don't. I sometimes phrase it like that if I'm like not if I'm not feeling it, but if I do feel like there's a connection, I'll just say, hey, I have BPD. If that's something you're not comfortable with, I totally understand. And like yeah, a lot of them they say, oh, thank you for letting me know, and then that's really it. And it's like soul crushing. But like it's totally warranted, because I don't like dealing with this. Why would I want to put that onto someone else and not even let them know beforehand? I feel like at least giving them the warning, giving them the easy out, say, hey man, if you want to do this, it will not be fun for you. I feel like giving them the out takes a little bit of that like guilt off me. And also it just streamlines the process. You know, it just gets streamlines it, makes them go, oh, all right, cool. Thank you for letting me know. We can move on from this now. I it's really depressing sometimes, and I've mostly come to terms with it. I've mostly come to terms with that fact, and I've been using the time that I would normally spend out being social, maybe on a date. I've been using that time to try and do work, try and get videos done. I try and turn this into, how, I don't know. There's there would be time allotted to me being out with a significant other and I'm turning that potential time into time where I'm just working. The idealistic dream is that I get successful either at my current job and make a lot of money, or I get big on the internet and either I just have enough money to forget, or maybe I can find someone. But as of right now, I mean, I'm kind of just looking at all the cards laid out and I'm picking the best hand. And I feel like a lot of people they see what I say. They hear what I say and they go, "Oh no, you just need to find the right one, or you need to wait, or oh, everyone deserves love." No. No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Or at least you're hearing what I'm saying, but you're not understanding where it's coming from. You know, I come I come from a background where love is just not the easiest thing, you know. And it wasn't the most glamorous thing to me growing up either. From what I saw, from what was depicted in front of me, it didn't look like how it looked on TV, you know, or in the movies or whatnot. It didn't look as glamorous as it did on Disney Channel, you know. But from what I saw a complete picture. And from what I'm experiencing in my own life, I'm seeing the outline of it. And I don't want I don't want to paint that picture, you know. I don't want to paint that picture. And if that in not wanting to paint that involves me just putting down putting down the pen, you know, putting down the paintbrush, I don't know, the thing you hold paint with. I don't know what that's called. Holding my little paint deck, let's call it. If it involves me just putting my tools down and just walking away, I think at some point I'll be okay with that. Because I don't imagine I can paint another picture. I don't imagine that I can I can make this work, you know. And like I said, I don't like dealing with this. You know, I don't like doing that. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. So why would anyone else? You know, why would anyone else enjoy being with someone who has these conditions, who can never make up their mind, who's incredibly impulsive, who has insane emotional outbursts and hilariously unregulated emotions. It's not something you'd want to do with your life. So I don't blame anybody. I don't even blame myself. I'm more or less looking at this through the lens of I was just dealt a bad hand, you know, and I'm trying to make the most out of it. And if that means sacrificing any sort of romantic venture I want to take in life, if that means probably just being a cat guy for the rest of my life, you know, that's that's a future that looks a lot more promising than a future where I keep trying at making a relationship work, or I keep hopelessly dreaming that one day I'll find the one, you know. I don't believe in fairy tales. I'm not religious. I don't believe that there's a higher calling. I don't believe that I have an extensive purpose on this planet. I don't believe in soulmates or any kind of superficial stuff. I believe in what I can see and what I can quantify. Maybe I'll get hopeful. Maybe I'll be dreamful. But at the end of the day, science and data doesn't really lie. And from the data that I've collected, I am just not compatible. As much as I may try or I may believe that I am, the fact is it's just not gonna work unless I completely change who I am. And I don't want to do that. I like who I am. People like who I am. Who I am is not built for a relationship. Who I am is not built for a deep emotional bond with someone. I'm not an incel. I want to make sure I get that point across. I'm really not. I said earlier, yeah, I'm talking to women. I want to make sure I got the right tense there. I, I just, I don't see it working. I don't see a future where I'm happy, at peace, and successful, and able to conquer my brain. I don't see that happening unless I'm alone. And that's really sad to think about. Thank you.